All right, welcome to the planning meeting for our day and night shift for October 10th. Remember, we're doing a 24-hour plan. We are going to start out with the current situation with Planning Ops, Clint Gould.
Good evening, everyone. So the map's not visible right now. Up in Division M on the top end, crews were working from Lake Edison. Decision today was to go direct and work their way from China Camp, or from Lake Edison, going direct and going easterly to China Camp and work that and get that secured. Division November. So coming down the 80 road, resources, once again, due to conditions and weather, they decided that direct was the best alternative. So they're coming off the 80 road and on both ends and going direct from High Sierra and the 80. Division Papa up there in the Horseshoe. They're working from Kaiser Peak back to Sample Meadow, securing that line, and I'll give the update a little bit later on tomorrow's tactics. The rest of the fire for Creek South from Romeo all the way down to Zulu is in patrol status, or they're patrolling and mopping up. We still have resources in all those divisions, and things are looking extremely well out there. Suppression repair still doing what they're doing with repairing dozer line, and we're starting to do some of the repair on the direct line also, and that's in the report.
Thanks, Clint. All right. Go ahead and click to the next slide, please. All right, go over our management objectives. Are they still valid for this operational shift? Thank you. And for our control objectives, still valid? Awesome. Thank you. Next, we'll bring up weather forecast with our incident meteorologist, John Pendergast.
Good evening, everybody. That cool spell, a nice relief from the hot conditions that were here to start out the month of October. And we're going to have those conditions with us for the weekend as this disturbance slides into the area. First of all, I want to show the heat production, which occurred especially in Division November there, near Mono Hot Springs, right in that area where they're doing some defensive burning. And also mainly on the east sides of the fire, upslope, which has been the natural spread direction as we go back for several weeks now. So an afternoon satellite photo showing the first parts of the disturbance and even some precipitation out over the waters of the Pacific Ocean, trying to make their way to the southern coast of California. Forecast for us, unfortunately, won't be getting any of that rainfall with the system, but clouds, cooler conditions, and humidity for tomorrow. Next slide, please. So air quality conditions on the left, we started out with some unhealthy air, unhealthy for sensitive groups in the vicinity of the fire, with moderate over the valley. A marked improvement during the afternoon hours as that ocean air made its way well inland during the course of the day. The only lingering conditions which were the unhealthy were right near the fire area, so at the higher elevations by this afternoon. Next slide. So this is going forward just for planning purposes. We're starting out tomorrow. The trough has slid into California, a little bit of buckling of the upper air pattern there, and that's going to be pushing out, and high pressure is coming in off the Pacific Ocean by early next week, and that trend is going to be with us for the following week. Next slide. So you can infer by looking at these colors here that it's going to get warmer and it's going to get drier as that high pressure continues to build across the whole west coast of the U.S. By the middle of the week, the high is certainly the main feature over the state of California. And then this is a quite unusual pattern developing by late next week with the ridge nosing well into the Pacific Northwest and us downstream in that high pressure area. This is going to lead to much above normal temperatures for October, as well as the dry conditions continuing through much of the latter half of next week. Next slide. So this is our fire weather matrix, which has been prepared. So we still have a couple of days here associated with that Pacific system. And then notice we're starting to see quite a lot of reds and some yellows developing early next week. We're getting very close next Wednesday to critical overall conditions, which is denoted by 4 blocks in one single day that are red. So Tuesday and Wednesday, notice how the humidities are starting to fall into the teens for min humidities. So we're going to have a return of some critical conditions with dryness and temperature by early to middle of next week. And also one thing of note is by Wednesday, a northeast wind. We haven't had a northeast wind on this fire in a very, very long time. So just for planning purposes, I felt it was important to show those things that are going to be cropping up, and we're going to be looking into that, especially during next week, because it could certainly dry out, extremely dry in that kind of a setup. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Our fire behavior analyst is working remotely for the next couple of days, so I'll go over what I talked with for her. As you heard with the weather, we are going to start seeing cooler temperatures this weekend, but we're going to turn right back around and get to the dry and warmer air. So for the weekend, fuels will be, or fire will be mainly fuel driven, especially when the ventilation, it's got good ventilation. Burn periods are slowly tightening over the next 2 burn periods, so firing operations is going to be a lot tougher to pull off. But it will give a good chance to go direct on the fire and be able to button up some of those problematic areas. As we progress into early next week, we're going to start getting into a moderate probability for large fire growth that we're looking at Monday and Tuesday. And the warm and drying trend developing throughout the rest of the week is going to see the chances for our lines to be tested, and that's going to something that we should look at for planning purposes. So with that, I'm going to bring up safety, Greg Marfel.
Good evening. So the 215A has been validated by operations. On branch 20, there will be 6 safeties and 7 line EMS personnel. On branch 20 for night shift, there'll be 1 safety and 1 line EMS. And on branch 25 and 29, there will be 1 safety and 1 line EMS, or 2 safeties, and then there'll be 2 ambulances assigned to the fire.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. For operational assignments, Clint Gould.
Evening again. So we'll start up on the north end. Division Mike, we've got Naylor and Mitchison as the division supervisors. As I stated earlier, we're going to continue with the plan that we had for the day with constructing direct line from Warm Creek down to China Camp. They're going to continue the structure defense measures that they have up there in their Vermilion Valley Resort. Needs 2 crews, 3 falling mods, 1 strike team of Type 3 engines. Coming a little bit further south, Division November, Marquez and Kinney as the divisions. They're going to secure the fire's edge around the values at risk, conduct a direct firing line off the 80 on both ends heading towards Florence Lake, and they'll do tactical firing as needed just to secure the fire's edge between any indirect line that they may need to put in. Needs 1 crew, 2 strike teams of engines, 3s or 6s, 2 falling mods. Division Papa, as we get into the horseshoe, we'll have Carson Hall and DeHart as the division supervisors. They're going to continue to patrol those structures on the north end of Huntington Lake, continue mop-up efforts along the black edge that they have, and then go with constructing direct hand line from where possible from Sample Meadows down towards Prior Lake, which is getting deeper into the horseshoe. And like I say, once again, looking for those opportunities to continue around through that Aspen Scar. They're in need of a couple Type 3 engines, a task force leader, and 2 falling mods. Coming a little bit further south, we get into Romeo with Valaquez. They're going to continue to secure the edge where necessary to prevent further spread, mop up, no further needs for them. We get down into SUV down in the lower branches. We've got Strabecki as the division soup, and they're going to continue into that patrol and mop up status and more or less pulled backhaul and excessive supplies that are not needed. Whiskey X-Ray Zulu will have Haragi. Once again, their same tactical assignments. They're going to secure the line, mop up where needed, and pull backhaul as needed. Suppression repair, we have Clint Wade. They're going to continue repair efforts within the branch of branch 25 and 29. They need 4 task force leaders, 3 heavy equipment bosses, falling mods, and a couple excavators. Rolling into night shift, we have Martinez. They're going to continue to protect the values at risk throughout the divisions that they're working, and once again, secure the fire's edge, patrol, and mop up. And that's the end of the report.
Thanks, Clint. For Air Operations, Brian Sexton.
Evening, everyone. A relatively quiet day for aviation again today. The aircraft lineup remains the same. We still have 14 helicopters assigned. Out of Fresno, we have Helicopter 507, the Cobra, for intelligence, IR missions, and air attack. And then we also have Air Attack 15 available for aerial supervision. Out of the South Zone, we have 6 helicopters, 2 Type 1s, 3 Type 2s, and 1 Type 3. We have Helco also available out of Aubrey Helibase. On the North Zone, out of Mariposa Helibase, we have 7 helicopters. We have 3 Type 1s, 2 Type 2s, and 2 Type 3s available for tomorrow. When conditions allow, we're looking at putting 3 Type 1s and a Type 2 over at Mammoth Helibase to reduce flight time over on the northeast corner of the fire. And a report for aviation.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Looking for team consensus and supporting the plan. Logistics. Communications. Medical. Information. Finance. Did we get a resource advisors in today? No resource advisors. Human resources. I saw her running around down the hill. Okay. Liaison. And did we get CAL FIRE, any CAL FIRE representatives? All right. For our line officer supporting the plan, Dean. Thank you. With that, we'll bring up our IC to closing comments and first the support.
Sorry. I approve the plan. So today we were very lucky. A firefighter was struck by a fairly large tree, and he has now been released back to full duty. Took him down to the hospital. Our IWI plan worked. We got him down to advanced medical care within 90 minutes, which is a long time, but we drove. It came in as a green, so very, very fortunate. We had talked about the hazards. We talked about trees this morning. We talked about driving. Nothing's changed. So tomorrow, emphasis once again is work area safety before they settle in. Let's make sure they settle in a safe working area. End of day 1 for us on the incident. It's been a full day. We're going to keep hitting it hard and run this thing down. So there you go.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. All right, just a reminder, IAP components are due by 1800 tonight. Yes, that is within 45 minutes, so please get your IAP components to resources. Our next briefing will be 0700 tomorrow here. There is also a community meeting here in about 45 minutes in this room. With that, you guys have a great day. Turn your cell phones back on, your radios, and enjoy your evening.